The following video is not made for kids. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello to my subscribers. This is the TFfangeek coming to you with a quick collection haul update video of my most recent haul of Transformers action figures courtesy of Amazon. Some of them are Age of the Primes figures that I was really looking forward to. Some of them are Studio Series figures that I was also excited for, and some I just bought on a whim. But as I was looking down around at them as I said those things, this is just Wave 3 of the Transformers Age of the Primes line is slowly starting to become available online at retailers, which is kind of mind-boggling because a lot of brick-and-mortar stores, or Target and Walmart, are just barely getting Wave 2 of the Age of the Primes line out on the shelves, and so Wave 3 is starting to trickle its way onto the market on the internet. It's making a lot of Transformers fans and collectors wondering just how long before they start to appear on the shelves of retail stores, especially those who don't have access to buying Transformers action figures on the internet. But regardless, all these Transformers figures I got came from Amazon.com. Over the next couple of weeks, as the month of September gains into October of 2025, and wow, I can't believe the year 2025 is on its way to being over. But regardless, the first Age of the Primes Wave 3 action figures are now up for sale on Amazon.com. Some of them keep selling out because some are more in demand than others. But regardless, I got courtesy of Amazon. First up, we've got the first Voyager class figure from Wave 3 of Transformers Age of the Primes, and it is Voyager class Alpha Trion. So, a lot of Transformers fans and collectors, and myself included, were shocked when it was announced that rather than being a re-release of the Voyager class Alpha Trion figure we got back in 2022 in the Transformers Legacy Year 1, A Hero Is Born HasCon exclusive 2-pack. That version of Alpha Trion was a repaint and slight retool of Studio Series 86 Scourge. Everyone was amazed when it was announced that Age of the Primes Alpha Trion would once again be a brand new mold instead of being a re-release of that figure. Personally, I wouldn't mind a re-release of the A Hero Was Born Alpha Trion figure, since it's one of my favorite Alpha Trions, but some people have pointed out the version of Legacy Alpha Trion from the A Hero Is Born 2-pack, that's when Alpha Trion is much older, and this one right here, Age of the Primes Alpha Trion, this is when he was much younger, when he was still in his prime. I'm still youthful, and right around the time when he and the other 13 Primes were first created by Imus, and so you could arguably call this guy by his name in the G1 cartoon of Autobot A3. There was an episode of Transformers Generation 1, for those who have never watched the G1 cartoon series, but a young Autobot time traveled through a time portal, and he was from Cybertron's distant past. His name was simply Autobot A3, and it was ultimately revealed that he was Alpha Trion when he was much younger. But in modern times, Hasbro and the comic book publishers for the Transformers action figures, they haven't really acknowledged that name for the young Alpha Trion from the G1 cartoon of Autobot A3 in favor of just having him always having been named Alpha Trion. But yeah, really interesting here. So here's some photos on Alpha Trion's box. He's got a quill and a writing tablet for his artifacts. Actually, in the Age of the Primes line. And one thing I wasn't aware of is that the Autobot logo on his chest is removable, and so Alpha Trion is the one who gives the stamp of approval on which Transformers qualify for joining the Autobots. So yeah, that's a really distinguished honor for Alpha Trion to have. In most Transformers fiction, because in the G1 cartoon, Alpha Trion was the oldest of the Autobots still living on Cybertron when the war between Optimus Prime and Megatron started, and even after the Transformers left Cybertron, crash landed on Earth, and discovered Earth and the humans. Alpha Trion was the oldest member of the Autobots. In most Transformers stories, Alpha Trion is essentially the last of the 13 Primes to survive to the present age, and he's the only one who lived to be very old. And so it makes sense for Alpha Trion to be the bookkeeper for the 13 Primes, because when I use the term bookkeeper, I mean scriber, writer, historian, whatever title you want to give him. since he's the one who's been around the longest and has the most knowledge on the Transformers. So yeah, there is young Alpha Trion from Age of the Primes. Next up, also from Wave 3 of Age of the Primes, we got the other member of the 13 original Primes released in Wave 3 of the line, which is the Leader class version of Onyx Prime. Onyx Prime is the first Beast Transformer that was ever created. Here on the back of the box, Onyx Prime's alternate mode is a six-layered beast. It's supposed to be a type of dragon, but then he has claws on one set of limbs. On the second pair of limbs, they're hoofs, and on the third pair of limbs, I believe they're a combination of like hoofs and claws. Claws on the back. And when he's in his robot mode, he has 4 hoofed legs. Eggs that make up his feet. So, oh yeah, very monstrous robot Onyx Prime. Looking at him in the box, I'm really hoping I'm wrong, but it almost looks like he's made out of gold plastic. I could be wrong. I hope that's not the case, but that's the this like brownish gold color is what Onyx Prime had in some of the Transformers comic books. I'm just hoping that it's not a type of gold plastic that'll crumble over time. But yeah, Onyx Prime is a really monstrous looking action figure, and just like the other 13 Primes, this I believe is only the second action figure of Onyx Prime that's been released. The first one of him, the first action figure that we got, the reason why I'm using quotes is because technically it was a transforming action figure of Onyx Prime, but it was just a little cube. We got action figures of the 13 Primes in the Transformers Power of the Primes line back in 2018, but those versions of the 13 original Primes, they just transformed into little power cubes that the Transformers could interact with. Onyx Prime was packaged with the Titan class figure of that line back in 2018, which was Titan class Predaking. And so technically Onyx Prime, even though he was sold at mass retail, he was very hard to come by, so to have Onyx Prime, not just a little cube, but be an entire fully Transformers action figure, for most Transformers fans and collectors, especially if they weren't collecting Transformers back in 2018 during Power of the Primes, Onyx Prime is the first one. This is the first action figure of Onyx Prime they're probably going to add to their Transformers collections. And on this side of the box, this is Onyx Prime is the larger bot used right here on this side of the box art. Alpha Trion, he's got the side of the box art that has him on it. Alpha Trion's the action figure over here. Alpha Trion standing next to Vector Prime and Prima. And I believe the action figures next to Onyx Prime are I could be wrong, but I believe they're supposed to be Quintus Prime and Onyx Prime. I'm sorry, he's Onyx Prime. Quintus Prime and I just lost his name. Amalgamus Prime. Yeah, so I believe that's Amalgamus and Quintus Prime next to Onyx Prime here on this side of the box. I believe that's over here is the shoulder for Liege Maximo. Oh, and then I believe Megatronus is on the other side, and then Solus Prime I believe is in the middle. You know, it's been a while since I've looked at the entire poster image for the Age of the Primes line, but yeah, there's Onyx Prime in all his glory. Next up, we have the action figure that I personally was the most excited for, because this one has proven to be really hard to find, much more hard to find than most Transformers fans and collectors hoped that it would be. But I managed to get from and unfortunately, I will admit, I did not pay full retail price for this thing. I paid a scalper because it was my only chance so far, because this figure has not been in stock. After initial stock sold out, it has not come back in stock on Target's website, and I have yet to have seen it in any Target store that I've gone to, including my own local Target stores. Even though they have the shelving space and the price tags out for it, they haven't gotten it in stock yet, but it is this right here, the Transformers More Than Meets the Eye Collection, Transformers Devastation Studio Series, Elite Seeker and Ground Soldier 2-pack. So yeah, this is the latest 2-pack of army building Transformers action figures that have been released. They're both based on the characters in the Transformers Devastation video game. The Elite Seeker was essentially a dark green version of G1 Ramjet, And then the ground soldier was used the body design for the two Transformers Generation 1 jump. I just had the names of them. Anyway, but it's basically Runabout. The Battle Chargers, I believe, was Runabout and Runamuck's subline. But yeah, it uses the same body design as Earthrise, Runabout, and Runamuck, just with a generic face. That's a visor and a mouth plate, so no visible features is what I meant to say on the face sculpt. So yeah, these are some pretty nice looking army builders. But so far, after initial stock back in July when they were first released for the first time, they haven't appeared again since then. And I'm hoping the other Transformers More Than Meets the Eye Studio Series collection figures that are going to be released during the first weekend of October, which I believe is 3 weeks from tomorrow, I'm hoping the other Target exclusive Transformers action figures won't end up going down the same path as the Elite Seeker and Ground Soldier 2-pack, where they only show up at a handful of Target stores and are and the best website to find them on is eBay, being sold by scalpers. So yeah, hopefully Target gets these guys in stock again soon, because I'm really hoping to find multiple copies of these two Transformers figures, since they're army builders. Next up, we have the Studio Series figure that I was the most excited to get in this haul, and it is the Transformers Studio Series Voyager Class 86 Mixmaster. So yes, I got Mixmaster off of Amazon, and 2 weeks ago I got Scavenger. Amazon surprised Transformers fans and collectors everywhere when they released Scavenger before Mixmaster, because for the longest time on Amazon's website, they made it look like Mixmaster was going to be the next to last Constructicon to be released in the Studio Series 86 line, and that Scavenger would be the very last. But yeah, they surprised everyone by having Scavenger be released first. So for Transformers fans and collectors who got the Studio Series 86 Constructicons from Amazon, Mixmaster is the last one that they've gotten. So for those who've been building Devastator as the Constructicons have been released, a lot of Transformers fans and collectors for the last few weeks have had one-legged Devastators, and so with Mixmaster here, the other leg has now been released, and so with Mixmaster, the Constructicons are finally completed, and it even shows in the Transformers Generation 1 movie that now that with Mixmaster here, Devastator now no longer has just one leg to stand on. He is fully completed. So yeah, really nice imagery there. Aaron, I'm just really thrilled to finally have the Constructicons completed with Mixmaster's release. And instead of doing individual reviews, I'm strongly thinking of doing an entire video where I look at all the Constructicons at once, so I can end the video by combining them into Devastator. So yeah, those were all the Transformers action figures that I wanted to get. It most definitely the last group of Transformers action figures. They're ones that I was originally going to pass on, but after watching reviews, some of these figures were released recently. Some were released last year in 2024 and before then. But after watching videos and seeing mostly Transformers fans and collectors have mostly positive things to say about these next Transformers action figures, I decided why not get them and add them to my collection as well. So first up, we have the Transformers 1 Mainline Deluxe Class Alpha Trion action figure. It was recently announced that Alpha Trion's going to be given a Voyager Class action figure in the Studio Series line, but I thought I heard that Studio Series, the Voyager Class Studio Series, a TF1 Alpha Trion action figure won't be released until next year in 2026, so I figured why not get the deluxe class version of Alpha Trion and see how he stacks compared to the other Transformers 1 action figures. The only Transformers 1 action figures I originally planned on getting were Optimus Prime and Megatron and being done with it, but the other more recently released Transformers 1 action figures from the Studio Series line, they convinced other reviewers, and videos I watched on YouTube convinced me to get them. So first up we have Bumblebee, aka B127, and we have Alita 1 right here, the Studio Series TF1 action figures of them. And yeah, they are Alita 1 at least is far more impressive than I originally thought she'd be. And Bumblebee's not that bad looking either. So yeah, I figured why not have another action figure of Elita 1 in my Transformers collection. And when I saw that Bumblebee was going for a discount price on Amazon, I figured why not get him as well, just to complete the main quartet cast, since I already have Optimus Prime and Megatron in my collection. And I figured since I had Megatron, I might as well also get Studio Series TF1 Starscream. I originally had no interest in this version of Starscream at all. I don't know if he's going to be repainted into Thundercracker and Skywarp or any other Seekers, but as is the case with most Starscream action figures in the past, if there's enough demand from Transformers fans and collectors for an action figure of Starscream, then repaints of Thundercracker and Skywarp will most likely follow. Last but definitely by no means least, we have the Transformers action figure that technically was the first of all these to be released by Hasbro. I think it might have been released 2 years ago in 2023. I don't remember, because when this figure was released I had no interest in it at all. What made me change my mind was the recently it's been announced leaks of Transformers action figures that have come out in the Studio Series line, both for the remainder of 2025 and then next year in 2026, and some of the leaks said that they were of Transformers action figures that might not get released until 2 years from now in 2027. I don't know if that's true or not, but when I looked at the listings, there weren't any of a Transformers action figure that I was hoping would be released, which was action figure of TF1 Shockwave. I could be incorrect. We might be getting an action figure of TF1 Shockwave, but if there was one announced, I honestly don't know if I heard correctly if there was or not. So I browsed around Amazon to see if there were any action figures of Shockwave that I didn't already have in my Transformers collection that could stand besides the Studio Series TF1 versions of Starscream and Megatron as a stand-in TF1 Shockwave figure. And I found one I didn't have that I then watched some reviews of it just to see if I was making a good investment on adding this Transformers figure to my collection. But last but definitely by no means least, we have the Studio Series Bumblebee Movie Voyager Class Shockwave figure. So yeah, I will admit I've collected more Studio Series Bumblebee figures than I initially thought I was going to collect. I got the concept art versions of Sunstreaker and Megatron. Megatron is one of the figures I still have to do a review of, but as you can see by the wall of Transformers action figures that I have behind me in all of my reviews, I am really far behind in my reviews now, and with these new Transformers figures, I'm probably going to be playing catch-up for the indefinite future. But yeah, here is Studio Series Bumblebee Movie Shockwave. What originally put me off on Shockwave was the shade of purple plastic that's used on him. It's brighter than I would like Shockwave to be. Whenever I think of Shockwave and the shade of purple that he's used, I think of his Transformers Generation 1 action figure, which is the very dark shade of purple, not the much brighter shade that was used for him in the G1 cartoon. But I watched a couple of reviews of the Studio Series Bumblebee Movie Shockwave figure, and a lot of Transformers fans and collectors have had mostly positive things to say about this version of Shockwave, so I figured why not get him and add him to my Transformers collection as well. So this has been my latest haul of Transformers action figures. The ones I was the most excited for, I will admit, were the Ground Soldier and Elite Seeger 2-pack. I did have to pay a scalper on Amazon to get a copy of that figure in my Transformers collection, so I'm really, really hoping in the coming weeks that Target will finally get larger numbers of this 2-pack in stock. After that, the next figure I was most excited for was Mixmaster, and then Alpha Trion and Onyx Prime were nice surprises, and like I said, I just bought the Studio Series versions of TF1 Starscream and Shockwave just to stand beside my TF1 Megatron action figure, and it was the same thing with Bumblebee, Elita 1, and Alpha Trion. I got them just to add to my TF1 Optimus Prime action figure. So yeah, I wasn't planning on it, but I got 2 action figures of Alpha Trion in this group, so that was really grateful that I was able to find some of these figures on Amazon for decent prices, and because of the rarity of this Devastation 2-pack right here, I'm glad that I was able to find a copy of it at all, even if it was through a scalper. So thank you guys all so much for watching. This has been the TFfangeek with you, bringing you my latest haul of Transformers action figures, courtesy of Amazon.com. Hopefully the other Transformers Age of the Primes Wave 3 action figures will get released soon, because Amazon still has yet to release the Alpha Trion's Wave made of Voyager class Flatline, the deluxe class figures of Micronus Prime and Venom, and yeah, I'm still hoping that they will arrive here soon. And like I said, starting in October, the other Transformers More Than Meets the Eye collection action figures will be released at Target, along with the Age of the Primes 4-pack that consists of Ultra Magnus, Bumper, Horrible, and Animated Nemesis Prime. So I'm hoping that I'll find that 4-pack when it gets released on the first Sunday of October, which is October 5th. So thank you guys all so much once again. Until next time, you guys, please remember to stay safe, stay healthy, and until next time, transform and roll out. Goodbye, everyone.